Sarake, and this is Progress Check 2 Demo First Prototype. This is my video cast for the second week and for Project and Portfolio 6 with FIA. In this class, we can take any of the projects that we work on, any of the projects that we worked before in our previous portfolio classes, and we have to transform those projects into server side. In my case, I choose my Project Portfolio 4, my project from Project Portfolio 4, which is a simple HTML and CSS website, and I'm gonna transform it into server side. In the presentation that we did last Thursday, we showed our flowchart, and I got some feedback for it, and I applied that feedback, which was usually the start of an application is it stands out, and it starts with a circular shape, and then the end of the application finish with a double circle sort of icon, and I made those changes. Then the project, I've been working on the project, which is this one right here. It's gonna be a little bit harder because there is so much style going on, and it's gonna take me quite some time to get the styling, but the functionality is almost there. I basically, first when I started my project, I created an index folder, an index file, where I'm gonna have the port, and the app is gonna be listening for that port. The dependencies and the libraries that I'm gonna be using, and I'm gonna be using more throughout the entire project. But the main ones that I've been using at the moment are debug, which is a library that helps me debug or find any kind of errors. It's going to be displayed on terminal. It's going to be a little bit more detail of what's going on, and it's a better way to console log the problems that are going on my application. .env for environment variables. Express is going to be my framework that is going to help me connect to the server. And Pug is going to be my templates. Then we have this ESLint libraries that basically I set it up to work with Airbnb base, which is basically Airbnb coding guidelines. So every time I'm coding, I'm gonna be coding a similar, or it's gonna help me and tell me how to code the way they code, the developers code in Airbnb projects, or so on and so forth. And finally, NodeMon, who's gonna basically be in charge of relaunching the server every time I save, or change a file and save. It's gonna be committing those. It's gonna be changing the server so I can see the changes real time on the browser. And this one is gonna be the script that I'm gonna be running, so I can start running my server. So if I go here and I write npm run dev, click, you can see here I'm gonna be server login, the server listening on port 3210, and if we go here, this is all the content of my website. I have to start adding I need to start adding the styling. That's gonna take me a while, but if you go to login, you have the username and password, and if you want to log in with GitHub, it will send you to the GitHub. Thing is that because I haven't built the database yet, and the code that I'm gonna receive in the URL, the authorization code that I'm gonna receive, basically the callback URL that the GitHub is gonna resend me with the code, I haven't wrote it yet, so I'm still here. The important thing is that I've been able to send the user to GitHub so they can authenticate their account. So going back here, if you click home, it will go home. So then I create an index. I basically create the app folder with an index which is going to contain the Express app. Then it's going to contain the first route that I'm going to be using here in app.use. So when it goes to localhost normal without anything, it's going to be loading public router, which is, if you go public and then public here, it's going to be loading this, which is the landing. The landing is basically, if we go here to view, is this PUG template file that contains the first, basically the landing information, but it also contains a layout. So if we go to the layout is a basic HTML structure. Here I'm loading my grid and my style CSS, which is here in public. I'm gonna display that later. Then after it's loading the layout, it has a block content that basically is gonna be that block content is gonna be put in the code after this block content. So after the layout, we go to landing, we have extends layout, then everything after block content is gonna go basically after this block content. Then here they include the header, which is here my header. Here I have all my navigation. If we go to sections, we have the organic farm, which is this. We only obtain organic fair beans, and then from farm to table with all the information, and that's going to be all inserted here in the landing. So you see you have organic farm, then we have the best macaroon, which is basically this, like this, which is le macaron, Joe of the French pastries, best cocktail, so on and so forth. Then we have the About Us, which is Meet Our Chef, Daniel Garcia. Then the About Us right here. We go to landing, is here About Us. And at the end we have the form where like this form is basically the what's on your mind. It's going to be collecting the information. That form is not ready yet, so I've been focusing on the logging first. Well, that's the route. Then I set up a public folder, which is basically a static folder in the root of the file, which is right here. So basically, when I wrote grid and style CSS here in the layout, it basically knows that this grid and style CSS is in the root folder. Yes, it's in the root folder, and you can find it like that. It's in the public folder, because that's kind of like the root. Okay, well, and then here I set my view engine to Pug, which is the one that the template engine that I download, that I install. Here you can see Pug, and it says like the views that I create with Pug is gonna be in an automatic folder called views, which is my views that I just see here, these views. So this is my project so far. This project has been taking me way too long, way longer than I thought it was going to take me. As you can see, there's a lot of detail in just the styling of the website, and as you can see here, it's not a common HTML file. This is a template engine, which is treated a little bit differently than an HTML file, and therefore the way that we have to apply the CSS is going to be completely different. And what I used to make this will not be able to be applied while I'm using this templating. So basically, I have to start from scratch, and this is a very big project that is going to take me a while to complete. Right here, well, at least I have all the content. So yes, so well, thank you very much, and this is my screencast for week 2 of Portfolio 6.